honored to be able to be here with you today to talk a little bit about my journey in this. So I'm sitting there with he was the director of the Metro Louisville Public Health and Wellness Department. And so I'm sitting there, he's helping me write this grant, he's offering to be on our team and has become a good friend. And he said, Steve, you know what I would do if I could do one thing, only one thing to improve the health of the community? You know what I would do? And of course I had the answers. We'd give fitness screenings to more people. I mean, I've spent 25 years of my career chasing people down with skinfold calipers, saying, here, pull up your shirt and let me pinch you all around your waist and, you know, give you some news that you may or may not want to hear. And so, I'm thinking, okay, more community walks and more, using the stairs instead of the escalators. And those were all the things that came to my mind. He said, Steve, what I would do if I could do one thing to improve the health of the community, I would improve the high school graduation rate. Now, to a guy that chased people with skinfold calipers, that was radical. It was transformational. And I said, tell me more about that. Because I was one of the ones that always thought, well, if people want to be healthy, they should just change the way they make their decisions, change their behaviors, and things like that. And what I found out was, from Dr. Troutman, that there's this issue of two words that came together that I had never used in the same sentence, called health equity. And I had to learn the difference between equality and equity. This would be equality. Okay, you see, all three of those kids gets the same box. That's equality. What I did not understand was the dramatic difference between equality and equity, where everybody gets the same opportunity to flourish and to thrive. And then we get to the concept of social determinants of health. And this is where, and I may say this more than once, this is where we begin to see the inextricable relationship between education and health, given health being a broad term, not just fitness. Fitness is a component of health, but fitness is only one part of health. The choices people make are the choices people have. Everybody doesn't have equal opportunity to achieve their greatest potential. And so, again, this became very dramatic for me. To me, I realized that we had to stop looking at ourselves from the inside out and start looking at ourselves from the outside in. And only then do we determine what the real impact of the YMCA is, even though we had spent decades building nice buildings, and there's nothing wrong with that, and selling lots of memberships, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the core of our business model. But if we're going to make a difference in the community, we've got to take a different look at some of those kinds of things. Our framework is around what, as a result of the work of the Y, what should happen in the community. So that's this is part of my personal, professional, and organizational transformation, in that we try to articulate our objectives not based on what we do, but what we do does. In fact, we call it, we ask our staff, each other in Louisville a lot, what does what you do? So we talk about do. So shows you how, classy we are. So anyway, and I'm going to give you, we collected data, qualitative and quantitative data, from over 500 people. And I'm going to just give you just a very quick flash of what we found out. The extent to which education was perceived as the number one issue. As you can see, it was the runaway number one issue being faced by our community. And so there was no more question left about how we should change the efforts of our YMCA. We cherish our relationship with our school systems, in Louisville, and we've been well engaged in that, even to the point of when we asked this question, to what extent should the Y be engaged in education? It wasn't like maybe, it was like, where have you been? And so it's changed our dramatic, and again, I don't want to give anybody the impression that we know all the answers, we have all the answers, and I know there's everybody in the audience would have something from which we can learn. I'm going to mention our swim access program. And many of you have large-scale swim programs. We're trying to get ours scaled back up to where every elementary school child gets it. But in 2 years, we went from one pool and 450 children to this past summer, 2 pools with 963 children. And you say, why would you talk about swimming as a function of achievement gap? And the answer is because I've taught thousands of kids to swim myself, and I know the day that child comes into the pool and they've been shaking their head negatively like this, many times screaming. I've chased them through parking lots and pulled them out of the back of cars with parents' permission, of course. And I know what it looks like, and I know the transformation that takes place when you say, okay, Johnny or Sally, can you blow bubbles in the water today? And that head goes from the negative shake to the affirmative nod. Their posture becomes more, and their eyes twinkle. I mean, it's tangible. And when it comes time for that child to decide, am I going to be able to graduate from high school? It's that same I can that comes from blowing bubbles that may take them all the way through their high school graduation in circumstances where they would not be expected to meet that high school graduation. We also have a couple of other things. We're experiencing a dream right now. We have the YMCA is there on the right. On the left there, that construction site is an elementary school. We're going to have an elementary school and a YMCA under one roof. Who would have thought? And it started as a dream, and it's intended to be a continuum of health and education for the students and families that go to that school. Other than the school system itself, the Y engages more children than any other single organization. My point being is, it's not just an opportunity, it's an obligation. We're not in the business to build a bigger, better YMCA. We should be in the business of building a better community. Now, in order to do that, we need a bigger, better YMCA to do that. But we don't exist just to perpetuate ourselves. We exist to deliver it in the community. So again, the choices people make are the choices people have. We're well positioned to engage more choices for people and make health, and again, broad definition of health, inextricably connected to education, to make the easy choice the healthy choice, or the healthy choice the easy choice. And I think the WISE is positioned to do that. So, ask your community to help direct you in determining the WISE role. Broaden your definition of health. Be relentless in setting your goals for the community, and not just the why. And I'm not crazy about the term at-risk children because I believe every child is at risk, but I do believe that some children are more vulnerable than others. And I think if we're not going to move the community needle, if we don't move the needle of the most vulnerable populations, then my advice is just go out and enjoy the joy that comes in the children's faces as a result of all that. So the why, I believe, is in the right place at the right time right now. We got the right people, we got the right organization. If not us, then who? And if not now, then when? Thank you for this opportunity. I'm honored to be here with you today and to join with you in this important work. Congratulations on your work. God bless each of us and those whom we serve. Thank you so much.